What's up, guys? It's Professor Gnome, and we're back today with the winner of the poll that I did, Scizor EX. It actually got a little closer to Skwovet by the end of it, but the current winner is Scizor EX, and I'm recording the video now. I want to start doing more of those polls for stuff, so definitely be on the lookout for those more in the future, and definitely give me ideas on what you want to see next. But for now, we're looking at Scizor EX. And I really like the Steel Wing attack more so than the Crossbreaker attack. Though Crossbreaker is pretty good. We discard 2 Steel Energies from it, and it does 120 for each, so for 240. But with Steel Wing, we're able to hit for 70, which isn't a lot, but we take 50 less damage on our next attack, or the next time we're attacked. So we're going to combo that with Full Metal Lab, where as long as our Steel Pokemon is, on the board, which is our Scizor, we'll take 30 less damage, so that's pretty good. And then if we can combine that with Rigid Band, we're taking an additional 30 less damage. So all told, we're taking 110 less damage a turn, which can be really, really good to set up 2-hit KOs, or even like set ourselves up for, again, single prize decks like Roaring Moon, like Ancient Box, things like that. We can set ourselves up in a position that they literally can never knock us out. And it's actually pretty strong. The other things we're going to use to support this is we're going to use a regular Scizor. The benefit of this is that against things like Shenpao and other matchups, we actually get to hit for a ton of damage, and with a single prizer, actually works out really well. We combo this also with Metang in order to rotate through our deck pretty easily and get all our Steel Energies on board. And then as our Revenge Killer, we're using Zamazenta, which we're able to benefit from the 30 less damage here, so we'll be taking 60 less in total when our Stadium is on board. And we're also going to be able to hit for 220 whenever our Pokemon are knocked out. So we have a good amount of single prizers that we're actually able to utilize. And so because of that, we're also running a little bit of an interesting thing. I run the Crisis Punch to hit for 280 in the late game with our Scizor or the Zamazenta or whatever it is that we want to hit with. It actually is pretty beneficial for us. We also run the TM Evolution in order to speed up getting into our Metangs, our Bidoofs, and so forth and so on. I think that's pretty much it that we run that is super important to go over. We run one Adaman. But yeah, that's the list, guys. Definitely let me know what you think of the list or any changes that you guys would make. And definitely let me know what you want to see next on the channel going forward. And yeah, I'll see you guys in game 1. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, all the YouTube stuff, yada, yada, yada. You already know about it. And I'll see you guys in game 1 in a sec. Peace. Alright, we're into game 1. We won the coin flip and we're going to go first. Going first or second with this deck is kinda, you can choose to do either one. We're gonna mulligan there. We're gonna mulligan twice. I wonder. Alright, cool. Alright, this is definitely not ideal. This is not what we wanted to see. We'll see what we get off our top deck, though. We are against Mimikyu. That's not too bad for us. We'll hold off for now on attaching the energy. What we might want to do is attach the energy evolution, get ourselves the regular Scizor. Mimikyu is not that bad for us. We have plenty of single prize attackers to be able to utilize to get past it. So that's not all that bad. Though our hand here is not very good. Name a Bravery Charm, Nest Ball. They could just be running Stall, and then at that point, not ideal. There's a Heavy Ball. Doesn't get them anything. Seal Stone on the Rotom V. They already used the Supporter for the turn. Grab themselves another Nest Ball for the Pidgey. Alright, so it's going to be like Pidgeot control. Alright, there's an additional steel energy. So we can attach here. We'll go ahead and evolution. Oh, that is not ideal. We were really hoping for the regular, our regular Scizor, but I guess it's in our prize cards. Alright. It's not great, but not the biggest deal. If anything, if we really have to, we could just slowly put energies on the Zamazenta and start attacking. There's the Chi-Yu. There's the Penny. Gonna bring Chi-Yu in. There's the Cape. So we're definitely not in a great... Oh, we would have really wanted that Iono. Alright, there's Metal Lab. We'll place the energy down at this point and pass our turn. Definitely not ideal. It really sucks that we lost that Iono. Alright, well that works out for me. Losing both of those aren't that bad. That doesn't really help us. We just pass our turn. If we can get into one more energy, we can actually kind of just start attacking to get this thing down. All that's fine. I mean, I would have liked... alright. We're really just stuck here, and it sucks. No, there's an energy I wanted. Alright. I can't draw into, like, anything I actually want. We'll put those back in the deck. The Buddy Poffin wouldn't have been that bad to get, just because we would be able to thin our deck and like get out other cards. But this will just have to do. Oh, come on. Alright, whatever. We'll place that down. Alright, the Ionos we're wishing for just keep getting sent away. Alright, there's our Buddy Poffin again that we can't have access to. Alright. Not any better. We're actually going to leave that on the field because of its free retreat if it gets like bossed up or something. Alright. Okay, finally. So we can at least start getting damage down. And so if we're sitting here for a long time, we can just kind of start trying to get something going for ourselves. But we are not in a great spot, to put it lightly. We'll hold on to the boss for now. We only need one more attack. The Lost Vacuum would go really hard here, but unfortunately that's just not going to happen. If they have a penny and pick this thing up, we're in a position to kind of struggle. But if they don't, then we might be able to start getting something going for ourselves. Alright, cool. Sucks that we're losing out on some of these cards, but... Alright, we're going to hold on to the Iono. The reason for that is that we want to be able to put all this stuff back into our deck. we get double prize cards here. So another Metal Lab and the double Metang. So we really need our Beldum. Not getting into Beldum has been a little rough. We do hit for weakness here, though, so we'll be able to get past this Mimikyu. But we definitely need some energy and to be able to start, you know, getting things going for ourselves. What does this do? That's annoying. Well, that's really annoying. I'm gonna just be absolutely stuck here at this point. I guess I just boss pull up the Rotom for now. What am I gonna do? Because this doesn't do any damage. So it's like I can't even hope in an attempt that they knock out my Scizor. There's Penny, that's going to pick everything up. This is going to come back in. So I'm just waiting on a switch at this point. And I'm not getting anything that's going to allow me to do damage. We'll place this down. Pass our turn. That'll at least let us shuffle everything back in later. Because we have 2, 4, 6, 8, 9 cards in hand. There's a Misfortune Sisters. Let's see how much we lose. There's the switch we needed. The only card that we lost to is the switch. How are we so deep into our deck but have no Beldum? Alright, finally. Alright, we can end our turn now. Once we get Metang on board, we can start putting energy onto our Scizor and go from there. That's so annoying. Alright, and we're about to lose the Ultra Ball we had. Alright. So, we'll place this. Place the energy. End our turn. Next turn, we will have energy in hand. So we can start attacking with Silverwing. Or a Steelwing, rather. And kind of go from there. I guess they could always just grab another boss's orders, force us to switch. There's a rare candy, so they have another Pidgeot. Alright, this is fine though. There's another Beldum. I don't know if we really need this down at this point. We can kind of just let our hand build. Yeah. So we can Steelwing here. Put that down to what'll be 190. That way on our next turn we can attack with Crossbreaker and get the knockout, grab ourselves 2 more prize cards and go from there. They pick everything up with Penny. That's not that bad for us. It's going to take them time to remake that. or it won't. But they also aren't accomplishing anything because we don't have any like energies or anything like that, or item cards for them to take from us. So at this point, we can just do the same play. And yeah, we're going to hit for 240 anyway, so on our next turn, we're going to be able to knock them out still the exact same way. There's an argument to be made that I should have put that energy onto the Scizor EX, so that way when I use Crossbreaker, it's not going to take me as long to be able to use it again. But I'm really hoping just to be able to get into Metang. There's the Radiant Charizard, so we're definitely going to need to knock this thing out. It's only 190. Actually, maybe not. We might actually be fine. I would have actually liked one of those, but whatever. At this point, we'll just go ahead and nest, because none of the cards in our hand matter. We'll actually go ahead and attach the Steel Energy here to start our play. Yeah. Alright, so here's going to be the play. We'll get rid of these 2 energy. Take the knockout on this. See what we get off our prize cards. Nest Ball and an Ultra Ball, that's fine for us. Even if they attach the energy, come in, knock us out. We can go Zamazenta, knock this out. We'll be down at 1 prize card, and then all we need to do is reestablish a Scizor. Yeah, so we can bring in Zamazenta here. We can place the energy onto our Scizor. We go ahead and retaliate. Get the knockout. This should be our other Scizor. Alright, Crisis Punch. That works all the same. So now all we need is a single energy. Or we can actually even attach Crisis Punch onto Crisis Punch isn't going to work here. I zoned out for a second and forgot how the prize card trade situation works. But even still, it's fine. We can Ultra Ball away the Crisis Punch and the Nest Ball to grab ourselves the Scizor. Retreat with Zamazenta. And go in and get the last attack to end the game. The only main thing that can stop us here is if they attach the double colorless, come in, attack us with Luxray, and discard our Ultra Ball. Perfect. So we'll Ultra Ball away this and this. We can grab ourselves the Scizor EX. Place that down. Retreat. Bring in Scizor. Boss's orders. Pull up the Rotom. And Crossbreaker. So definitely a very slow game. We kind of bricked a bit. But sometimes you just got to play it out. This is why we don't tilt. We play the game out the way that it, has to be. Sucks we didn't have this earlier. That would have helped us a lot. But, we play the game out. We do what we have to do. And it's not fun to play against stall. PTCGO is bugging, because of course it is. We play the game out. We do the best we can, and we make it work sometimes. Even if it's a slow and maybe a little bit boring game and not as fun as it should be, we were able to, you know, find our way through because we just stayed with it, even with a little bit of an unlucky circumstance. So we were able to make it work, and that's going to be the end of game 1. So we'll jump into game 2 in 1 second. See you guys there. Alright, we're into game number 2. Our opponent chose for us to go first. So we're going to get ourselves set up. We have some okay things to work with. Cool. So we have our Bidoof, we have our Nest Ball, things like that. We are against something that... Man, we got double Scizor in our opening hand again. So we'll Nest Ball here. I think the easiest thing that we can grab for ourselves is just the regular Scizor. We will attach the energy here, end our turn, and go from there. One of the things that we're going to have to do... Yeah, so one of the things that we're going to have to do is probably Ultra Ball for our regular Scizor. And kind of go from there. They'll want to stack Iron Hands, so we'll have enough damage on board to be a... Or not Iron Hands, the Iron Crowns. They're going to want probably 2 to 3 on board. Meaning that we should have enough damage, if that's the case, to kind of start operating. But it does look like we're in kind of a rough situation. There's 2 games in a row that we're double Scissored in our opening hands with Metang. So they go... Electric Gen. Wow, they got 2 hits on that. Yeah, they're going to be able to treat. They probably have the other energy in hand. Yep. So there's the 60. We'll see what our top deck is. I feel like the top deck is going to greatly determine the rest of this game. Alright. Our top deck is Buddy Poffin. I think we grab ourselves Beldum and a second Scizor. We end our turn. We're going to need a huge couple Metang rolls. Because we can live any one hit here. So we're going to have to get the Metang rolls into something better. There's Iron Crown. We'll see what we're able to get. Best case scenario for us is that they retreat, go into their Iron Hands, attack into us for some reason, like thinking they're going to get like a 2-hit KO, and then we're able to Crossbreaker, knock it out. But it looks like they're just going to go peak Acceleration again. They're going to peak for like 100. If we're able to draw into like a research or something, that would be so massive. Because if we can get a Rigid Band and our stadium, going double Steel Wing might actually change the entire game. It also depends on what they end up doing. But I assume they're going to peak Acceleration for 60, 80, 100. So we'll be at 170. They ran out of time, so they didn't attack. That's obviously not great for them. We'll go ahead and Metal Maker here. We only get 1. think we just go ahead and Silverwing here. No, we Crossbreaker for 1. Get the knockout. Go from there. I don't know what really just happened there. The boss's orders is nice. They responded, so they couldn't have just... And I don't know why they chose not to attack. Again, like, maybe they just ran out of time, but then they just selected their new active pretty quickly. So I really don't know what's going on. Like, they're actively still playing. There's the boss's orders, so they're going to bring up Metang. Arm press. Alright, so we really need to draw into an energy. We'll bring in Scizor. The Artazon really wasn't what we were hoping for, but it will allow us to... We're actually going to go Bidoof here. So that way on our next turn we can Ultra Ball and get something else. But for now, we're going to go ahead and just pull up this to give us 1 turn of not getting attacked. So what we're looking to do on our next turn, we can Artazon for another Beldum. We'll get rid of the Adaman, and we'll get rid of whatever it is we draw with the Ultra Ball, get ourselves Bibarel, evolve Scizor, and go from there. Alright, so they already had the booster capsule in hand. They're going to Lost Vacuum away the Artazon. So that's going to mess up our plays a little bit for the next turn, but not anything too much. The Iono is going to mess up our main plan, but it might actually just end up bailing us out because our cards weren't great. Alright, so pretty much the exact same play. Just we're going to play a Scizor down manually. We'll use 1 Ultra Ball to get rid of the... Actually, that's huge for us. So that was not the right play on their part. I mean, kind of. They can't know that we have Lost Vacuum, but yeah. Alright, so here's what we're going to do. We're going to get rid of this and the Rigid Band for now. So we can always get ourselves a new one with the town store. Grab ourselves Bibarel. Place Bibarel down. Attach the energy. Industrial Incisors. Perfect. Now what we can do is Buddy Poffin. Grab ourselves a new Beldum. And grab ourselves Skwovet. Then what we can do is we can Lost Vacuum away the Heavy Baton. And then from here, what we can do is we'll place the Rigid Band to, town store. Grab ourselves the Evolution. Then what we can do is Arven, grab ourselves the Ultra Ball, and we'll grab ourselves the Crisis Punch. Then what we can do is knock out the Iron Hands. It's not going to be able to pass the energies. We can grab double prize cards. Perfect. So now we have Zamazenta. And we have the Iono. So what we're going to end up doing is we can actually use the Ultra Balls to discard both of the Crisis Punch and the Evolution in order to grab ourselves Scizor. We can place down the Zamazenta. Then what we can do is place the Rigid Band Scizor into the active. We'll place Zamazenta down, so we'll only have one card in hand. We can Bibarel a new hand and go from there. Yeah, that'll work, because then we're just looking for Metang. Actually, they have triple Iron Crown on board. We may change our play. But we want Zamazenta down. We do want the Metang. We'll see. We'll see what we end up doing. We'll see what they ended up choosing with their boss. The Bibarel is annoying. Okay. We can leave that then. We're gonna do the same play that we were gonna do before. So we'll Ultra Ball, look for our new Scizor EX, place that down, and now the only thing that's different is we're gonna Nest first, because they clearly can't do anything, so I don't want Iono. We can throw this down, grab ourselves a whole new hand. We found the switch and the Metang. Pretty classic on our end. Now all we need to do is hit a single energy. We do. What else did we hit? Cool. We can throw this down onto the Scizor. We can take the knockout. Bop, bop. Just like that. We'll take the knockout there. Go 2 prizes down. Boss's orders and the lab. Perfect. So the game's over because we only need one. You know, one attack on anything anyway, so we can just knock out the Miraidon in the back at any time. Oh, I should probably have addressed this earlier. The reason why I play Prime Catcher over Max Belt is that Max Belt can help your Scizor EX in some cases. So, like, if in this instance we're only hitting for like 100, we'd be able to hit for like 150. But it's only against EX targets, and 9 out of 10 times it doesn't come up that it actually makes the difference. More often than not, it doesn't end up actually mattering, and Prime Catcher just comes up more commonly and is just more effective as a whole. So personally in this deck, just because of where our damage numbers end up, we typically don't need the Max Belt, or we're 2-shotting anyway, so it won't make a difference. So that's why I prefer Prime Catcher, for anybody who was wondering. We'll see what they do. They can arm press here. It's not going to be enough to knock us out, though it is a good chunk of damage. We do have... we'll place this down. We'll go ahead and Metang first, just to see if we can get the energy. We do not. Cool, our opponent's going to concede. That actually works out for us, because we did not get what we needed there, and it was about to be a little awkward. But it's not that big a deal. We do get by. That game is a little bit awkward because of the fact that our opponent chose not to attack earlier with the Miraidon. I have to assume they didn't have a strategy in mind on why. I feel like they just had to have, like, run out of time for some reason, or for whatever they were doing. I don't think it would have made that much of a difference, since we kind of had a plan in place and knew what we were going to do if they did end up attacking with Miraidon, I feel like we kind of got everything else we needed anyway towards the end, but it could have made a difference. There's no really full way to know at this stage in the game. Like, you know, you can't really backtrack that far. But yeah, that's going to be game 2, guys. We'll do one more, and I'll see you guys in game 3. Alright, so we're into the final game. Our opponent's choosing to go first. They won the coin flip. We open up kind of an awkward hand, but we'll see what we're able to get done with it. They open Frigibax. That's actually not too bad for us. Regular Scizor will be really, really good into Chien-Pao. They play down the Pokestop. That could also be really good for us, honestly. The Buddy Poffin's good for them, but thankfully they did get rid of their Radiant Greninja. They open just double Frigibax. Solo energy here. I think what we're going to do is spin the Pokestop. Wow, that's so bad for us. Alright. We get rid of Crisis Punch. We get rid of Scizor. We grab ourselves Scyther. Then what we do is Lost Vacuum away the boss's orders. Get rid of that. Place the energy down onto Scyther. Pass turn and pray. Because if we can get into a barrel, draw a new hand, and get something to work with, we'll see what happens. We want to get rid of the Pokestop just to prevent them from maybe getting something off of it. It's clearly not going to help us. It made its decision that it has no intention to help us when it got rid of our Iono, our boss's orders, and our research. It really comes down to if they can rare candy. Alright, they can't, so that's huge for us. There's a research. Cool. Alright, we're gonna get into stuff now. We'll grab ourselves double Beldum. And we don't have to worry about the we don't have to worry as much about having Manaphy down, since they already lost their Greninja earlier. So we're going to go ahead and evolve. We'll throw the Rigid Band down. And we can go ahead and Industrial Incisors. And we'll keep the Metal Labs on board for right now. So that way we're able to bump their Pokestop again on the following turn. We're going to assume that Bibarel's about to get knocked out here. But that'll open up our counter catcher, and what we're going to look to do is... Yeah, so the reality here is that our Bibarel's going to get knocked out. That's pretty much guaranteed. So what we can do, though, is that we'll be able to bring in our Scizor EX into the active. We'll be able to counter catcher up the Baxcalibur. Knock that out and go from there while replacing the Pokestop. And potentially being able to replace our Bibarel. So we'll see what happens there, but that was a cool animation. Alright, so unfortunately, you know, like I said, we lose our Bibarel. Not the biggest deal in the world. We'll be able to bring Scizor EX into play. We can manually attach because that's the safest thing to do at the moment. We'll spin the Pokestop, but it's only going to end up hurting us, I'm sure. Okay, it actually kind of paid off. So we'll Pal Pad here for a boss and an Iono. Then what we can do is we'll place the Metang down. Counter catcher. Then what we can do is Ultra Ball away the Nest Ball and the Scyther. Grab ourselves Bibarel. Throw the Metal Lab. Throw this down. Then what we can do is Industrial Incisors. We can play the Greedent down. Yeah, we'll play the Greedent down. Then what we can do is Metal Maker. We missed everything, which is a little unfortunate. We don't need any of these cards, so we can actually Nest Stash, see what we're able to find. The other Metang's pretty big. So we can go ahead and Metal Maker again. We do get 1 energy. For now, we'll attach it to the additional Scizor. Since we're only going to need 1 energy to knock this out anyway, it's just kind of better off to start powering up the second Scizor. We'll get 1 prize card. There's the energy we need to attack on the following turn. We can be knocked out, but it's a little unlikely since they're going to need another Rare Candy and another Baxcalibur in hand with no real draw options. They will be able to find it because they had the Luminion, which is a little annoying because now they can Irida for the pieces. But they're still going to need the 2 energies won't be enough. And if we're able to get into another boss's orders, that would be massive for us. There's the Superior Energy Retrieval. So they are going to be able to get all the energies they need, but it's going to be pretty costly just because we're ignoring 60 damage off rip. So that's pretty much ignoring 1 whole energy that they place down. A Super Rod would be super beneficial here to be able to get our normal Scyther into play. Just so that way we have a 1 prizer that's going to be able to do a bunch of damage. And also setting up our Zacian would be super big as well. I think those are going to be like the main things that we actually utilize to attack for this game. And there's 2 more energy. So they have enough to knock us out at this point. But if we're able to get into our other Scizor EX, then we'll be in a pretty good position. Because it costs them a lot, and they only have 1 card that's not an energy in hand. So even if we're not able to... Well, I guess they have 2 now. Alright, so we're able to manually attach. We'll go ahead and Nest Stash here first, because the energy isn't really anything super vital to us. We'll go ahead and Super Rod. The Super Rod is mainly just to increase our odds, and we'll throw 1 energy back in just in case. Actually, we'll throw the other Scizor back in. I had to mute for a second because I just sneezed super loud. Alright, so this works for us. So we can go Scizor here. And what's actually even better is the fact that we can place down our regular Scizor, or Scyther. I don't know why I always call it the wrong thing. We can boss his orders, pull up the Baxcalibur, and this is pretty much going to end the game. We can Metal Maker. We're able to hit 1, which is good enough for us to use our regular Scizor. We can come in here, we can drop 1 energy, get the knockout onto Baxcalibur. They're not going to be able to replace anything new. We go down to just needing any random 2 knockouts, which is more than easy enough to do. We have the Ultra Ball to get into our regular Scizor. And we have the Iono to break their hand down. I don't even think they have any Frigibax left. There's 1, 2, and maybe 1's prized. Yeah, so they're going to try to rebuild. There's the Irida, so they'll be able to grab the individual pieces, but we can always Iono them away on the next turn. So there's Frigibax and a Nest Ball. Yeah, so they don't have a rare candy in hand or really a way to get into one. At least it doesn't appear like they do. There's no point to doing anything with these just yet. We're actually going to go ahead and Ultra Ball away this and this. Grab ourselves our regular Scizor just so that way we're kind of prepared. Then what we can do is Nest Dash, because again, giving them different cards probably isn't going to be beneficial. Then we can draw ourselves some new cards. The Prime Catcher is nice. That's going to definitely be useful. And I think we're going to go ahead and just use it. We'll pull up Chenpao. We can bring in our regular Scizor. We can hit for weakness. Get rid of that. Grab ourselves 2 more prizes. We have a single prizer up in the active, an Iono, and an Arven available to us, so we can grab the switch if we ever need it. Yeah, we're pretty much good to go here. We'll, even if they're able to go Frigibax here and they can't leave Frigibax in the active and turn it into Baxcalibur. There's a Zacian. What we can actually do here is we can just Metal Maker. If we get the energy, cool. We'll go place that onto Scizor EX, so we already have it available to us. We don't need anything else, and there's no point to give them potentially something else they could actually work with. They're kind of stuck right now on no cards. So we can Skwovet, and we'll draw with Bibarel just to see what we end up with. Cool. So what we'll do is we'll just Punishing Scissors, knock out Frigibax, go down to a single prize card. Thank you. And then literally knock out whatever comes in. Because if we have to, we can always retreat, go into Scizor EX, and that'll be enough damage to knock anything else out. If they knock out our active, it's not that big a deal. Again, we just bring in our EX. If they choose to somehow, like, counter catcher or whatever, bring in the EX, it wouldn't have made a difference. So that's going to be the game, guys. Yeah, we'll do 3 games because the first one went for a very long time. I don't want to run the video too long. But yeah, that's going to be the deck, guys. Definitely let me know what you think. Let me know what you think of the build and anything like that. I will say that I didn't realize this at the time that I was doing the scroll through and like little review of the deck. For whatever reason, I'm not really sure, the Super Rod wasn't in the deck. I feel like this was an issue in the last video too. I don't know what's going on. But the Super Rod is in the deck, in the deck description, or in the copy, like, deck list in the description. I updated that. It's supposed to be, there's 3 Buddy Poffin in the build in the video. It's supposed to be 2 Buddy Poffin and 1 Super Rod. So if you made it this far, that's the explanation. I genuinely don't know what happened when that was being put in. I must have messed that up somehow in some point. I'm really not sure why or how, but that is what it is. But yeah, so sorry about that. Definitely, you know, if you copy the deck over, it'll be updated, so you probably will never even notice this, but just thought I'd address it anyway. But yeah, definitely let me know what you guys think of the deck. Definitely let me know what list you guys are running or any changes that you would make to it. I definitely appreciate it. Don't forget to do all the YouTube stuff, like, comment, subscribe, all that. I'll definitely be doing Skwovet next, since it's the next up on the poll. Be on the lookout for more polls. I really enjoyed doing that and getting your guys' feedback, so definitely be on the lookout for those, and let me know in the comments what you want to see next, so that way I can add it into the future polls or just kind of make the video if it's something that like really stands out to me. But yeah, I'll see you guys all in the next one. Thank you all for watching. Peace out.